Good morning. Welcome you all. I am Dr. M. Subba, Assistant Professor in the Department of English, Academy of Maritime Education and Training, Amat deemed to be University, Chennai, India. We are going to learn strong and weak forms in this module. When we speak in English, especially when we utter sentences, it is not that all the words carry equal stress. Some words are pronounced and some words are slightly pronounced, and we have silent letters also in English language. Okay. So, the pronunciation pattern, the forms can be broadly categorized into two types, strong forms and weak forms. Strong forms are those words that gain stress when we utter sentences. Weak forms are those words that does not gain stress when we speak in sentences. Okay. Strong forms, words, the content words, example, noun, verb, adverb and adjective. Okay. Noun, the name of a place, thing and person. Okay. Verb, that denotes an action, sit, stand, go. Adverb is the word that explains the verb. She walks fast. The word fast explains how the action is done. It is an adverb. An adjective explains the noun. She is beautiful. Beautiful explains the pronoun she. Okay. So, these words noun, verb, adverb, adjective carry stress. Okay. There is in terms of pronunciation, there is a difference when the same word is pronounced as noun and verb. For example, take up the word subject, S-U-B-J-E-C-T, subject. Okay. When you pronounce it as subject, mathematics is the subject. Okay. When you pronounce it as subject, it is noun. Okay. When you pronounce it as subject, the rules are subject to change, the norms are subject to change. When you pronounce it as subject, it is verb. When the stress falls on the first syllable, sub, it is the noun, subject. When the stress falls on the second syllable, ject, subject, it is the verb. Similarly, conduct, conduct. I am going to collect my conduct certificate. Conduct is the noun, we conduct the program. Okay. Conduct, the stress falls on the second syllable, duct, conduct. Okay. So, when a word is used as a noun and as a verb, the pronunciation differs. So, these content words like noun, verb, adverb and adjective carry stress. It takes stress accordingly. Okay. In addition to that, when we utter negatives by using not, does not, do not, okay, when we express negative using not, it carries stress. So, these are the strong forms. Then what else is the weak form? When we frame a sentence, we include both content words and another kind is called structural words. Structural words are the auxiliaries, modals, preposition, conjunction and pronouns. Okay. So, we combine these two categories of words, content words and structural words, which includes noun, verb, adverb, adjective, auxiliary, modals, preposition, conjunction and pronouns. We put all these things together to formulate a sentence. Forms are the structural words like auxiliary, be verbs, am, or, is, was, were, do verbs, do, does, did, have verbs, have, has, had. Okay. Then modals, will, shall, should, would, must, ought, dare, need, may, might, can, could. Prepositions in, on, at, by, around, conjunction, and, but, either or, neither, nor, pronouns he, she, it. Okay. These structural words do not carry stress. So, these words are weak forms when we utter English sentences. What is strong and weak form? Peter Roach states in English Phonetics and Phonology Glossary, a little encyclopedia of phonetics, that a sentence has not only common words which have a strong or full pronunciation, but also one or more weak forms. So that a sentence contains a common words, and in addition to that some weak forms also. The weak forms can be the conjunctions, articles, pronouns, prepositions and some auxiliary or modal. So, articles also falls under the weak forms, articles a, and the, conjunctions and, but, or, pronouns he, she, her, preposition for, to, at, auxiliary and modal verbs do, must, should. So, all these words fall under weak forms. How is the weak form pronounced? When it occurs in sentence, example, and can become n, not and. We are not supposed to pronounce it as and. For example, bread and butter, bread and butter, a and d becomes n, okay, when we pronounce it. Okay. That is called as weak form. Okay. Of can become f or v, of can become f or iv. Okay. For example, of course, of course. So, first if sound comes, course, of course, bread and butter, okay, n or in. Okay. And there is always exemption when we talk about rules. Okay. Generally, the strong form of such words is used when the word is being quoted. Okay. And should be fully pronounced when we utter sentences like we use the word and to join classes. In this sentence, we use the word and to join classes. We should fully pronounce and within single quotes. Okay. It should be fully pronounced. In such these constructions, and is a strong form. It should be fully pronounced because it denotes a rule. It falls inside the quote. We use the word and to join classes. Okay. Next example, when it is being contrasted, for, the word for, in, there are arguments for and against. There are arguments for and against. For should be pronounced fully in this sentence. So, we cannot neglect for, it should be fully pronounced. And the next example is when it is at the end of the sentence. Okay. When the word like from occurs in the end of the sentence, we have to pronounce it. Where do you come from? Where did you get it from? Okay. When the word like from occurs in the end of the sentence, you need to pronounce it. The exemptions are when and falls inside quotation, it should be pronounced fully, and when for is used to contrast, it should be pronounced fully, and when from, the word from occurs in the end of the sentence, it should be pronounced fully. It becomes a strong form. Okay. These are some exemptions. Otherwise, the general rule is that the words like be verbs, have verbs, do verbs, modals, auxiliary, preposition, article, conjunction, these words do not carry stress when you utter sentences. Yes. Now, we move on to practice exercise. Read the following, paying careful attention to the weak forms, then write them out in ordinary alphabetical script. So far, you have become familiar with consonant sounds and vowel sounds, so that it is being given in transcription format. You try to read it and try to write it in actual English sentence format. First one, try and find a seat at the front of the hall. Try and find a seat at the front of the hall. The words that gain stress are try, find, seat, front, hall. Only these words are pronounced in the first sentence. It carries stress. That single mark, quotation mark, denotes that it carries stress. It is the stress mark. Okay. Try and find a seat at the front of the hall. So, when you strictly follow the strong and weak forms, when you speak in English or when you utter sentences, it creates a rhythm of English language. Second sentence, those are the ones I don't like. Those are the ones I don't like. Those ones don't like carry stress. Okay. That should be pronounced in a strong way, and the other words are the weak forms. Okay. In a mild way, it should be uttered. Those are the ones I don't like. Write to the director and lodge a complaint. Write to the director and lodge a complaint. Write, director, lodge, complaint. Complaint, stress falls on plaint. So, write, director, stress falls on rector. Director, stress falls on rector. And lodge, a complaint, stress falls on plaint. Write to the director and lodge a complaint. The ones you got are better than this. The ones you have got are better than this. Have you got time for drink? Have you got time for drink? Time and drink carry stress. Show us how to do it. Show us how to do it. Show, how, do carry stress. Okay. Andrew is stronger than Michael is. Andrew is stronger than Michael is. Andrew, stronger, Michael. These three words carry stress. What were you trying to see? Sorry, what were you trying to say? What were you trying to say? What, trying, say. These words carry stress. Okay. Tell them the name of the street. Tell them the name of the street. Tell, name, street. Only these three words carry stress. These three words are the strong forms which carry stress. They shouldn't have left their cases unattended. They shouldn't have left their cases unattended. Shouldn't, left, cases unattended. Unattended, stress falls on tended. Next sentence, you must pay for the drinks now. You must pay for the drinks now. Pay, drinks, now carry stress. Last sentence, you can wait for the next bus to come. You can wait for the next bus to come. You can wait for the next bus to come. Wait and next carries stress. More examples from Jane Matthews' worksheet shared in academia.edu. It will be more beneficial and useful to have a few more sentences for practice session of this strong and weak forms. Let us see to it. Okay. The weak forms. The first one is am, are, is. Am, or, is, was, were. Be verbs. I am tired. I am tired. Stress falls only on tired. Okay. They are going. They are going. Stress falls on going. This dog is lovely. This dog is lovely. Dog, lovely. The words that carry stress are dog and lovely. Was and were. The weather was terrible. The weather was terrible. Weather, terrible. These words carry stress. We were late. We were late. We were do not carry stress. Late carry stress. Okay. Do, does, do. How do they come? How do they come? Come carry stress. How carry stress. Okay. How and come carry stress. What do I get? What do I get? What and get takes stress. Similarly, have and has also. Okay. Have and has do not carry stress. The rose has withered. The rose has withered. For example, the rose has withered. Rose withered. Only these two words carry stress. Okay. Have broken it, have broken it. Okay. You and have do not carry stress. Okay. Broken it, broken takes stress. Then the modal words can, could, shall, should, must, will, would. These words also do not carry stress. For example, how can I help? How can I help? We shall need to run, we shall need to run, we shall need to run. He must eat well, he must eat well. The girl will win, the girl will win. He would be happy, he would be happy. So, already these be verbs and will, shall, these words are denoted in actual English writing also by using contrasted forms. Am by using apostrophe and m, is by using apostrophe and s, have by using apostrophe and v, has by using apostrophe and s. So, that means it is contrasted, that means it is weak form. The contracted forms are weak forms. In addition to be verbs, have verbs, we have modal auxiliaries also, can, could, shall, should, must, will and would. How can I help? How could he do it? He must eat well. This will teach him, this will teach him. So, all these modals do not carry stress. And another important point is, even when you write it in actual English, we have contracted forms denoted by apostrophe and the shortened form. For example, I am, when we write it I apostrophe am. Okay. He is, he apostrophe is, s. Okay. She has, she apostrophe s. Okay. We will, we apostrophe double L. These contracted forms are the weak forms that do not carry stress. Okay. Then next one is conjunctions. Conjunctions also do not carry stress, particularly and, as. Okay. Come and sit down, black and white, wash and weigh. Okay. So, and a and d and becomes n, mere in. Come and sit down, black and white, wash and weigh, bread and butter. Okay. This is as good as gold. Come as soon as possible, come as soon as possible. So, these words do not carry major stress when we speak it in sentences. Okay. Next category is pronouns. Pronouns also do not take stress, that means it is a weak form. His name was mentioned, for example, his name was mentioned. Okay. She, where does she live? Where does she live? Okay. We have to give stress only to the main words of the sentence are not the pronouns. And prepositions. Prepositions, at, he will come at 9, he will come at 9, at. Okay. For, come for coffee, come for coffee. Then articles, a, an and the. These articles also do not carry stress. Yes, one more last important point is sir, the word sir, S-I-R, sir. Sir, sir carries pronunciation in front of Anthony. The word Anthony, sir carries stress, sir, fully it should be pronounced as sir, because the letter A is a vowel. Okay. But suppose it is a consonant, okay. Sir Claudio, suppose it is a consonant, Sir Claudio, okay. That becomes weak form, Sir Claudio, Sir Claudio, Sir Anthony, Sir Claudio. Okay. So, when it is a consonant, it becomes weak, and when it is a vowel like Antony, it becomes strong. These are some of the main points that you should bear in your mind regarding English pronunciation, that when you utter sentences, you need to give stress to strong forms like noun, adjective, verb, adverb, and the weak forms like auxiliaries, modals, conjunctions, prepositions, pronouns do not carry stress. They are the weak forms when we speak sentences. So, if we are able to follow this rule when we speak English sentences, it will produce its rhythm. Thank you and wish you all happy learning.